Now yours truly here is somebody who looks at a man and get pregnant. And throughout that fight, he had nothing better to do than to kick me in my belly with his foot. Really,
so I was in mommy belly and saying, you not getting rid of me.
Exactly. Children, the baby is born, the baby is born. Legs spread wide. I'm still waiting for the placenta to come out.
I mean, you gotta make an entrance, come on.
Yeah, right. You did. Drew was standing there and said, oh yeah, everything cool. It was easy, you know, it was easy. I almost killed him. Basically, on her second day of life, she put her little feet in the water already. Guys, it's crazy. Trust me.
Tears are coming my eye. Look.
Happy birthday, my baby.
Thank you. Hey my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Mel, and we have mommy here, so it's another story time with mommy. This one is a special edition, cause guess what, your girl is finally being born.
Yep.
I'm arriving to the world of story time with mommy. Can you believe that, guys? And when you guys will be seeing this video, guess what, it's going to be my actual birthday. So in the comment section down below, wish me happy birthday. I'm gonna push this video, you know, that will be my little gift from you to me. Just push it, like it, share it, watch the ads please. I would greatly appreciate it. But yeah, before I ramble on any further, I'm still a baby. I don't know any information. Well, not yet even. I'm coming to the world. So I still, still don't have any input. So this is still going to be a solely mommy story time. But yeah, let's get into the video.
Okay. Disclaimer. The stories that I'm going to tell in this series are my experience, my truth, and my point of view over the past 38 years that I have been in Jamaica. And it's in no way intended to slander any person, the culture of Jamaica, or the island as a whole. Hi, Mels Lovelies. After all this anticipation that we had, because I mean, we have been asked so many times, when is my Melody going to be born? Well, today, here we go. We got February 1994 when I realized that I was pregnant. Now, I used to...
Valentine's Day baby,
No, I don't think so. No, it was in February I was pregnant already. So I guess it was more like January. So basically, I used to use contraception. I had an IUP, and it needed to come out by the end of '93. I had a doctor friend, a German doctor lady, and she told me, no man, that thing has to come out now. So I went to the hospital and they took it out. And now yours truly here is somebody who looks at a man and get pregnant. You know, so my mother always used to say, because she was the same, it's like a man can hang him underwear upon my bed and I get pregnant, you know. And so to say, Drew did ask me quite a few times to have a baby with him, but seeing that our relationship was kind of troubled through those times already and very difficult, I could not really say yes with a good conscience. So, well, as life goes, you know, they take out my contraceptive thing and boom, pregnant in February. And so I told him, and he was very happy actually. He was like, yeah, finally I'm getting a baby with you and he. And
by this point, you guys were how long together?
About 3 years. 3 years already. So it was not a rush thing at all. So the funny part was when I realized I was pregnant, my first intuition, strong, was it's a girl. I knew it from the very beginning. This is a girl. And second thing that came up in my head was the name. It just popped up. Boop. And it was Melody, as you all know. And her second name is Crystal. And the reason why it came up in my head is because Drew and me did go to the Keys one time, and there was this beautiful shop there, and we went inside and I saw this crystal in this shop, and I was like, oh, I love this thing. And Drew bought it for me and gave it to me, and actually it was the only thing that I ever got from him, ever, in the entire relationship. He never gave me nothing. So this one crystal was the one gift he gave me up to that time. And for some reason I felt it right to use Crystal as her second name, although she was a tiny little bit in my belly at that time, but so those two names popped up, and that's it. I mean, I decided, and no doubt
Melody popped up same time too.
That came first. Melody, for some reason, because I mean, I came to Jamaica because of the music initially, and actually Drew was an aspiring musician as well. He used to sing in a group as well and stuff. So for some reason it just popped up. I said, well, that would be very fitting for a child from the two of us. So actually when I told him, he was pleased. You know, and there was no argument or no big discussion about the name. So, but it was interesting because, I mean, you just hear you're pregnant and you know already it's a girl and you know already the names. Boom. I mean, that was kind of special, you know, because with all the other children I had a problem to find names. So the pregnancy went on normal. I mean, child number 4, and I reached about in the 3rd month. So it was still pretty early when Joanne started another big fight. Like, oh, he always loved to do that. And throughout that fight, he had nothing better to do than to kick me in my belly with his foot. I mean, really, really hard. And cursing me out. And he wasn't even sorry that he kicked me. So after everything cooled down, I lay down in my bed and stuff, and I realized that I started to bleed. So I said, all right then, that's it, baby. Bye-bye. He did it, you know. And the next day now, my doctor friend, she used to work in the Port Antonio hospital. So I told her about the events, because as a friend you can talk about your private stuff too. And she said, come, let's go to the hospital, come up. I have my shift here now, come up. So I went up to the hospital and she gave me an ultrasound. And normally, you know, you don't get an ultrasound in Jamaica that early. And to my astonishment, we see this teeny weeny little thing with arms and legs already. And it was like going like crazy in my belly. And I was like, what? Is that small and moving like that already? Because I never had gotten an ultrasound that early in any pregnancy yet. So I wasn't aware that at not even 3 months they would do that already. Because of course you can't feel it. And anyhow, I felt so much better because it's like, it's not dead, you know. And so the bleeding stopped too then, and everything was okay. But I mean,
So how much blood was it? Like, was it a lot? Or?
It was not a huge amount, but I mean, with 3 pregnancies, I never had any bleeding ever. You know, so I wasn't used to it, and it was like, when you see that, of course, it's frightening.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, just to make sure.
But it wasn't like was it like spotting or was
no? It was
like...
more than that.
Okay.
Was more than that. If it just had been some spotting, I mean, I'm not really.
So I was in mommy belly and saying, "You not getting rid of me."
Exactly. Stubborn already. Stubborn already.
Yeah.
And I was so lucky to have that doctor lady as a friend, because she would help me with anything I needed, and actually she was present at the birth as well. And I mean, even normally to get to an ultrasound in the Port Antonio Hospital is a huge deal, but with her, you know, it just came up and, oh yeah, come in, let's just do this, and in 5 minutes everything was done. So I was really fortunate to have that connection. So we went on in the pregnancy, and suddenly about like, I mean, Drew kind of cooled down, you know, and kind of treated me okay until I was about 5 months pregnant. And then suddenly he turned crazy and said, oh, but it's not my child. And I was like, what? You know, I mean, please. And he went all over the place and told everybody I know film picnic. He even told his mother. He went to his mother and said, it's not my child, it's not my child. And then, I mean, we really, of course, fell out over that again, because I was like, what is wrong with you? You know, I mean, he never could say I was even looking at another man, you know, so I was like, what? And another quarrel occurred, and basically he moved out.
At 5 months?
When I was about 5, and I said, alright, another child without a father. I'm used to it, so it wasn't all that bad for me, and at least I could get calmer now and without the quarreling and the bad atmosphere around me, so it was better for me. And then when I was in my 6 months, we went to Germany. It was summer again, and my mother invited us, and she didn't know about the baby as yet. So we went over and reached the house, and when she opened the door, and I said, surprise! And showed her my belly, and she was like, oh my god, another one, because it was number 4. But she was like, oh wow, nice, you know? Because, I mean, for her, I guess it was positive to have more grandchildren, because she only had me. I was an only child, so I think for her, she was like, oh, I'm a grandmother of 4 then, you know? And while I was in Germany, I went to Munich to visit Rita and 2 children.
To remind y'all, Rita is his Drew's ex-wife, and they had 2 children together.
Right, and we became very good friends. And actually, I didn't really tell the stories before, but whenever she was in Jamaica and she came frequently, the children would always be with us. On the houseboat up in Bliss already, they would always stay with us. So we became more of an extended family. So I visited her, and if you remember in my stories, I mentioned the complication I had after my Yumi's birth, that there was placenta left in the womb and I couldn't stop bleeding. So of course I was kind of concerned that it might happen again. And Rita had a good friend in Munich, gynecologist lady too. And she arranged an appointment for me, and I didn't have to pay anything, because of course I wasn't insured. I wasn't living in Germany anymore. Yeah. So I went there and I told her the story, and she examined me and everything was fine. And she said, well, I should not even be afraid that anything like that would happen again, because it would be pretty unlikely. Because basically every pregnancy leaves a little scar in your wound, right? And it is unlikely that a next pregnancy would sit again on a scar like that.
Yeah, so it attaches at different spots.
Right, it attaches at different spots, and as long as that spot is okay, it should work out. Because my intention was to have this baby at home. Because I had 2 out of my 3 children already at home, and I would definitely not go to Port Antonio Hospital, because I went there 2 or 3 times with friends of mine and attended their birth and helped them through it. And that is not an experience I wanted for myself, because I mean, some of the midwives up there were awful. I mean, awful. And like, you have this young, some of the young girls get pregnant, of course. They go up there and they bawl, you know, they are in pain, they are afraid, and they bawl and they scream and they shout. And some of the midwives just look at them and say, "Cha, why you go on so? Eh? You could have sex, now you have to get baby too. And stop the screaming. Like, you know what? You're not a word from you."
There's no empathy.
No empathy, no niceness, nothing.
Of the
nothing.
pain that the people are going through.
They were treated like criminals, you know? So I said to myself, first of all, I never really considered to go to the hospital in the first place. And secondly, it's like, no way in this hospital here. So we flew back. I had to go earlier than my children. My children stayed a little bit longer with my mother that time. I flew back by myself. Had a big belly already, and then at the airport they asked me how far I was, and I said, well, 6 months. And they said, oh, you're lucky, because if it was a little bit more, you couldn't fly anymore. And I was like, what? And then I had this child seat for the baby that I bought in Germany, and that was extra luggage. So the lady at the counter, she looked at me and said, okay, you're pregnant, and I just let it pass through for free for you. And I said, thank you. It was so nice.
Privileges of being pregnant.
Yep. So I came back home. I was basically almost reaching 7 months. And about a little after I came back home from Germany, who turned up again? Mr. Drew. It's like, yeah, and he's sorry, and he didn't mean it that way, and he was kind of mixed up, and a whole heap of excuses, you know? And, you know, for me, it was like, after all the problems I've had with other men and all the loneliness as well, you know, being responsible alone for your children, for everything, I kind of weakened and allowed him back in our lives, you know, because it was like, I wanted some help too, and I wanted somebody to be by my side as well, you know, like every woman, I guess. So I kind of considered, and of course he swore that nothing like that would ever happen again, and he would be changing, and well, I have to say, for the rest of my pregnancy, he did pull himself together. He was very nice, he was very supportive, so I can't complain for that part of it at all, you know. And I went to the health center because I needed a midwife. I mean, by Jamaican law, if you want to have your child at home, you need a midwife. So I went there and I met a very, very nice woman, and she was an older lady already. And I asked her if she would be willing to attend my birth, and she was like, yeah, okay, because I mean, you're not a first gravita, they call it. So and you have had good experience, so why not? I will be willing to help you. So whenever your time comes, just call me. She gave me the number and everything, and she told me what I would have to prepare at home, because of course you have to prepare your bed. You have to put some plastic under the sheet and stuff, because you don't want your mattress to be completely spoiled, you know, with all the liquids.
Soak up with placenta juice.
Exactly. So she told me everything I would need and stuff. So that was very helpful. And then, of course, the lady, doctor friend, she was alerted, and she said, yeah, anytime, just call me. No problem. I will be there. So on November 12th, one storm started.
Which is today. No, just kidding. Today, 27 years later.
Exactly. A big storm started. And I mean lots of rain, a lot of wind. I mean heavy duty wind. So in the evening it got worse, and what we had to do now is go out in the storm and tie the houseboat more, because it started to swing around and be up and down, and it almost turned loose. So Drew was out there, my two sons were there, I was there, and we worked on tying the boat, and I was pulling and doing holy bad stuff, you know.
So imagine mommy with a big 9-month-old
Big belly. Big belly.
Out there tying and pulling rope to tie up the houseboat.
So I mean, we finally got it really firm and nice, and I was like, I'm exhausted. So I went inside, go to my bed, and the storm outside still roaring around and the rain falling, and it was like, oh my god, this is really heavy duty. So I finally dropped asleep. When about little after midnight, I wake up because my water broke. And I was like, yeah, right, Sabina, right in a storm. I mean, I really know, you know? So I walked through, and I said, baby is coming. And he jumped up and jumped in his clothes and run out and then jump in the car. And we did call the doctor lady at first, and she said, okay, come up. She actually, at the time, she lived in Bliss, where we used to live.
Mm-hmm.
She lived in that same house. So he had to go get her, and I called the midwife as well, and the midwife said, well, I'm very sorry, but where I am here right now, I cannot even leave my house because we are flooded. I cannot come out of the house. I have no idea how to reach you, so I'm sorry, I can't come. And I was like, well, great, but at least I had the doctor lady coming. So it was about, by the time Drew left, it was about 1 o'clock already. And I was alone there. Well, the children were asleep, of course, on the houseboat. I was alone there, and I had to start prepare the bed, make up the bed in between. And suddenly, I mean, I get some contractions. I mean, it was like from 0 to 100 in
knock, knock.
1 minute. And then the contractions came every 2 minutes. Boom, 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 boom. I mean, I could barely start to breathe after one when the next one started. And heavy duty.
Hello, I'm ready to come out.
Believe you me, she was ready. And I just barely get the bed made up and just barely changing something comfortable. And then I was pacing up and down because of just the pain. And I said, oh, please, 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 come soon, come soon. I cannot take it anymore. I can't be alone with this. You know, please come. And luckily by about, well, it was about an hour I had to wait, you know, by 2 o'clock. They finally reached back. Came in. Both of them basically soaking wet. And then while I was still in my contraction and going like, and they told me the story. Because when he was driving up to Bliss now, there was a tree that fell over the road. He had to kind of find a way to get rid of that tree to drive through, you know. And still, I mean, for the way that he had to drive and doing everything he did, he came back fast. I mean, I even asked him, were you flying or something? You know? So the end phase come, and Mr. Drew kind of turned him spliff and sit beside me, light him spliff, you know. I was in heavy duty, end stage of labor, and this man sit beside me and smoke a spliff, you know. And I was like, really? And they said, yeah, I need to calm my nerves, you know. Anyhow, baby, come out pretty easy. Well, easy is relative, of course. But all in all, I mean, if you imagine, it started like about little after midnight, and we are at 3:30 in the morning now when she was born. 3:30 in the morning. So it did not take long at all. So you can imagine the 3.5 hours were like intense pain. Without a break. So I was so happy when she came out. I was like, thank God. So she slipped out, and Drew had nothing better to do than run out to the children. Children, the baby is born. So of course, I mean, I'm laying there, right? Still in my the legs spread wide. I'm still waiting for the placenta to come out. And the man just run out and bring in. Mayumi was fast asleep. No, she was not. She woke up too. Wake them up. They all come in the room, and I was like, "Well, thank you, Ruth. It's not embarrassing at all, you know." But it was so cute because what happened then? The doctor lady told my children to bathe her. Aww. So they filled the bathtub and with warm water and everything, and she handed her to her big brother, and her big brother actually was the one bathing her for the very first time.
Aww.
And the other two were hanging around and admiring their little sister, and they were so happy about it. So in the meantime, I had my peace and quiet and could push out the placenta and finally cover up and get a little bit more decent. And because the children, they didn't even pay me no mind, which I was very glad about.
I was center of attention now, yeah.
Definitely. And you know what happened as well? The moment she was born, the storm ceased.
Hey, I have
no more storm.
I have to make an entrance, right? So it has to be exciting, you know. Tree drop down here so in a pathway, so my father can't pass to go get the doctor. Mommy leave mommy alone in the houseboat, you know, to fend for herself for like 2 hours. I mean, you gotta make an entrance, come on.
Yeah, right. You did. So actually, she was born on a Sunday morning, on the 13th. And when she was born, the storm ceased. So I right away called her my little witch. Because, I mean, come on, that was magic, don't you? So, everything clean up. Dr. Lady leave. We sleep for the rest of the night. Next morning, bright and early, Judith called his mother. Oh, the baby is born. She came run, practically, to look if it was really her son's baby. Luckily, she was a spit image of her father when she came out. So, I mean, there was no doubt that he was the father. So, but I was kind of sitting there, and I had to smile to myself and say, you know, I told you all along, and now you see, your son picked me. There's no doubt about it. And then, through the storm it ceased, the midwife now decided to come and give us a visit and check out the baby and see if everything is alright. So she entered the bedroom, and I was laying in bed, and she came, oh, and everything alright, and Drew was standing there and said, oh yeah, everything cool, it was easy or no? It was easy. I almost killed him. I was easy or what? You know? No, for him it was easy.
Yeah, for him.
No, sitting beside me smoking a spliff. What hard can there be, right?
Oh gosh.
No, the first day of her life went on, and in the afternoon it was so she was born 3:30 in the morning. In the afternoon, she was like about 11 hours old. I was called over in the restaurant part because there was a problem there, and I went over and sat down for her. She was sleeping at the time. Sat down over there and try to solve the problem and start to talk to a few people and stuff. And when I think it was Yasha came in with her, came in the restaurant and handed her to me all because she was awake and crying and wanted her titty. And of course I got up and headed over back to the houseboat. When on the way walking out, people came and a guest came in and they saw me with this little bundle. And they said, "Oh, but that is a fresh baby." And I said, "Yeah, it's 12 hours old." And they were like, "What? And you're walking around here and you're in the business and they were speechless, you know." And I said, yeah, but I'm gone now. I'm going back over to my house now. So that was that story with her. Plus, the next day, my doctor friend came and we decided to go to the beach. And, well, it's her second day of life, right?
Right.
We decided to go to the beach. I mean, her navel not even healed yet or nothing, you know. So we went to the beach and basically on her second day of life, she put her little feet in the water already. That was how she started to love water like that.
And that's where connection come from.
Right then and there, we put her feet in the water. Of course, I couldn't put her lower, and she loved it. She was not crying, she was not panicking or nothing, and I was like she couldn't really smile yet, but I mean, she was happy. So there you get that connection to the water.
Oh, real water, baby.
Yeah.
And it was the beach, Frenchman's Cove, right?
Yeah.
Which today, to this day, fun fact, is my favorite beach.
True.
So yeah, that's like the real connection of why, you know, I'm such a water body and just love water.
So I looked through my jewelry and guess what I found? I found the crystal.
What crystal?
The one that gave you your name.
Ooh, the one that Drew got you?
Yeah, that one. And guess what? I didn't even remember when I looked at it. No, I'm going to show you. This is it. And what is it?
Ooh.
Is that crazy?
Guys,
it's crazy, trust me.
Tears are coming out my eye. Look at this. This is the crystal. Hold on, let me see if I can show you. And there's something holding the crystal. I'm trying to wait.
Yeah, it's hard to see.
Cover your face, mommy, because it's picking up on your face right now. What is holding on to the crystal, guys? It's a mermaid. It's a freaking mermaid.
So can you imagine? 2 years before she was even planned or born, her father gave me a crystal with a mermaid on it. Happy birthday, my baby.
Thank you. Aww. So guys, it all makes sense.
No?
Why I'm such a water baby, why I got the name mermaid, because I didn't even give myself that name. It was somehow just always given to me. People just always say, "You love water, you know, you can't go to river so often or beach so often," and I'm like, hey, and then I must say mermaid. But no, it all makes sense.
And believe you me, I didn't even remember it was a mermaid. When I found it the other day, I was like, what? Look at this. I mean, it's like self-fulfilling prophecy.
What, guys? It's really, let me see. Honestly, the tail, the hair up top there and stuff. I'm going to try and see if I can take a picture so you guys can see it more clear in the video. But I just need to get a necklace where I can put it on.
Yeah.
Aww, this is what I'm no, but that's crazy though. That is actually crazy. that it could have been anything holding this crystal.
Exactly. I mean,
anything at all.
but it's a
holding
mermaid.
this crystal, and it's just a friggin' mermaid. Belly, navel line, everything. There's so much detail on this little thing. It's crazy.
That's why I loved it when I saw it. It was so intricately done that I said, wow.
So wait, did you think you lost it?
What happened? No, what happened one time, the crystal fell off the mermaid. And that is why I didn't wear it anymore, because I didn't want to lose it. So I kind of secured it. No, I didn't think I lost it. I knew I did lose it, but it was not in my mind anymore. You know? And then when I found it the other day, I said, well, it will be a perfect time now to give her, because on her birthday. And especially, I mean, she's not doing this channel that long. It's only a few months we are doing this. And it's only a few months since she got the name Mermaid from you guys. And when I saw this now, it was like, this is karma or something. You know? This is so amazing. So, I hope you enjoyed the situation.
I can't stop looking at it, guys. I'm just here twisting and turning it. I'm definitely going to have to... I would be too afraid to wear it as well. Yeah, so I just feel like I would, you know, put it up like some...
Keep it in honor.
Yeah, keep it in honor. Well, oh my god, that shit... Sorry. This is crazy.
But with this now too, we will finish our 2 days story time. And now she is in our story time in the future.
Yes, guys.
With all her little antics.
With my little antics.
I hope you look forward to that.
Guys, right now, I'm sorry. My words are lost.
Then just say goodbye.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, the day that you will be seeing this video will be my actual birthday. So, yeah. Wish me happy birthday down in the comment section below. And I will see you in our next video. Bye.
Make this